Opening. What is Le Chatelier's principle? If you know the answer, please write it down. But I never taught it, and that's okay if you don't know the answer. All right. What is Le Chatelier's principle? People sometimes say to me, why do you ask us a question when you haven't taught it to us yet? But it's actually good for the brain to have a question, to have a certain level of curiosity, to say, I don't know what that means, but I'm all ready for you to tell me. So that's a metacognitive strategy to have the brain ready and primed for an answer. Are you ready for the answer? Well, here we go. Le Chatelier's principle is also called the equilibrium law. We learned equilibrium last week, and we're applying it to this principle this week. Le Chatelier's principle states when a substance experiences a disturbance, such as a change in concentration of chemicals, or a change in temperature, or a change in pressure, it will respond to restore a new equilibrium state. In other words, whenever a system in equilibrium is disturbed, the system will adjust itself in such a way that the effect of the change will be nullified. And that's very important to biology. That's very important to life. It's very important to our lives and to our health. For example, I like to eat salty pretzels. And if I eat a really, really salty pretzel or a lot of them, my body does not become very, very salty. My blood does not become very salty. I might have a slight increase in the level of sodium in my blood, but it won't be too bad unless I go crazy and really eat a lot of salt. Um, my body will adjust itself and make sure that the amount of sodium in my blood is at a reasonable and safe level. What if I drink a lot of water? Well, my body needs water, and my body kind of knows that. It has all its processes for absorbing water and transporting that water to all different parts of my body. But if I drink too much water, the body also has a way of knowing that and then disposing of the excess water. And that's a pretty remarkable thing. Now, how does the body do that? Well, think about a lab we did recently, the capillary action lab. You had a strip of coffee filter paper, or maybe it was a little piece of paper towel or napkin, and it absorbed water. It absorbed water pretty quickly in most cases. And then when the water got to the top, it stopped absorbing water. That's because it couldn't hold any more water. And unless there's evaporation at the top, and in plants we call that transpiration, unless the water leaves through some sort of evaporation and makes more room, if it doesn't do that, then it's just going to absorb a very specific, limited amount of water, and then it's going to stop. And that's what our bodies do. Our bodies absorb the water that it needs, and then when those cells get filled up and don't need any more, they won't take in anymore. So homeostasis can be defined as the stable condition of an organism and of its internal environment. And it is the regulation of the stable condition or its equilibrium. So your body maintaining just the right amounts of moisture, just the right amounts of sodium, just the right amounts of potassium, just the right amounts of glucose. That is homeostasis. The idea that no matter how hot or cold it is, your internal temperature is going to be about the same. That is homeostasis also. The idea that we don't want to be too hot, too cold. We don't want to have too much of one chemical in us. And we need the body to regulate that because all kinds of unpredictable things happen to us. And when our body can achieve homeostasis, it keeps us healthy. It keeps us alive. So our bodies achieve homeostasis through Le Chatelier's principle. Our body has all different ways of regulating the amount of chemicals in the body, but one of those ways is through the chemical equilibrium process that we learned last week. That when you add a certain chemical, the body adjusts to a new equilibrium state. And that's very important for homeostasis. It's very important for our health. The end.